Yesterday I went over to Empire Farm Days, which is like the biggest tractor show in the Northeast, and Dewalt actually has a building set up there where they have some discounts on their equipment, and I've got these old Dewalt tools, and here's three batteries, the last three batteries that I bought 4 years ago basically, and they're just not holding the charge right anymore, and it was time for some new batteries, so I figured I'd check it out while I was over there. Well, I talked to the people at DeWalt, and they actually recommended switching over to this new style 20-volt battery, and they did have an adapter there. And they also had a kit there that had two batteries and a battery charger and a brushless driver that came with it. And it turned out that if I had bought two of the 4 amp hour batteries, which they said you need to equal one of the old XRP batteries, it would have cost me what was it, $120 for the batteries and another $69 for the charger. And here they had this kit that was marked down to half price that came with the same charger there. That was $69, and it also came with 2 of the 4 amp hour batteries, and the whole kit was was on sale for like $140. So that actually left me enough money left over to buy that adapter to go with it. So I didn't really want to spend this kind of money on batteries and stuff like that, but it seems like it's a way to go in the future, and they told me that these new lithium ions that they have should really last a lot longer. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the case. So when it comes right down to it, basically I got this driver here for free, and you can see these new batteries. Actually, I charged this battery up already, and you can see it has a gauge on it to let you know where it stands, and it goes in and out of that new tool real nice. And here's the adapter that I had to get to put it in the old tools, and I just wish somebody would come up with a way where you could just fold a lip on these plastic things to open them up or something like that, because they're just a pain in the neck, to waste all this heavy duty plastic packaging and make it so hard to open. But anyhow, so I did get this adapter, and the one fellow working from DeWalt working at the booth said that to be careful if you're going to leave the tool sitting with the 20-volt battery and the adapter in it for a long period of time. He said to be sure to unplug the battery from the adapter, because from his experience, DeWalt doesn't say it, but from his experience, he said that he's seen that the adapters do have a slight current draw in the battery when not in use, and they can actually run down a battery. So there it is. There's the new battery, a little bit smaller and a lot lighter than the old one. And there's the the adapter and the battery put together. And I'm just gonna stick it in the old drill here. And it's actually quite tough to get it to go in there and seat and lock in place. It did take a pretty good push. The balance of the drill feels a little bit different with it, but it's still got the same power and everything else, and it's a little bit longer, but I'll get used to it. But it is definitely seems like it's a little bit lighter. Now, to get this adapter out of this 18-volt drill with another story, I wound up having to take the battery out of it, and I just couldn't squeeze those buttons and pull it out. I played with it for a while, and I wound up having to get a screwdriver out and go back, and while I was squeezing on the buttons, actually pry it out with a screwdriver. So I'm gonna look into maybe I need to do a little bit of touch up somewhere with a piece of sandpaper to make it easier to go in, or maybe just a little bit of lubricant on it too may help. But here's a newer style impact wrench here that's got the other shaped battery, and you can see how it fit in that one really nice, and it actually went in and out of that one easy compared to the other style, and the balance wasn't off too much anyway. So now I don't need this old driver anyway with the new one, so I'll probably sell that on Craigslist to help make up for the difference. And here you can see this one's actually a brushless driver, and it's got 3 nice little LEDs on it, and it's got a whole different feel to it. I noticed there's a little switch on there for 3 different positions where it has a completely different sound on it. It sounds like they actually change the voltage in it or something. You slide that switch to vary the power in it. And if you look in the book, you can see it gives you the specs on it, how they actually did. They made that first switch, the torque on it is much lower, so you won't strip out screws for smaller screws, and then the middle position on it is about equal to my old impact driver. And there's some of my old batteries. I actually have another box full out in my pole barn, and hopefully I can figure out how to get them or how to rebuild them someday. But for now, this is the direction that I'm heading in. In reality, that old drill, reciprocating saw, and circular saw are probably at least 20 years old, and they have seen quite a bit of abuse. So here it is, trying out the new one. This is on the number 1 position, and you can see how it just barely got enough power to get that screw in there, and you know, just there's no way it would break a screw or strip it out or anything on that setting. So that's the first setting. Now this is number 2 that I put it on, and that's about the same as the old driver would, you know, put them in. A little bit more powerful, and the brushless motor actually seems to have a whole different type of power. It's a constant power. And then there's a number 3, and that's just an animal when you do that. It's you know, it's really an amazing tool. It'll probably drive some really big, you know, lag bolts and stuff like that, and loosen them up also. So looks like it's going to be a real good addition anyway. You know, I hate wasting a lot of money on new batteries and stuff like that, but that old that saw is really the biggest, handiest thing. Now here's the old driver that I had, and you can see that's about equal to that number 2 setting on the other one. So then, just for the heck of it, I decided to go up and get the scale out and see the difference in the batteries, and you can see that this is you know, approximately 28 1/4 ounces on the new battery and the adapter set up together. And then I'll just throw the old battery on there, and you can see that that's what 34, but almost 34 ounces on that. So there is a pretty good, you know, weight difference in the two of them. So the new one's definitely lighter, and I guess that's why it doesn't throw the balance of the machine off by that much. I guess the biggest thing that I learned is if you're going to replace the XRP batteries, you have to make sure that you get at least the 4 amp hour batteries to be the equivalent of them. Don't get the smaller battery packs. And this adapter is kind of a pain to get in and out, but it actually does work. And, you know, I'll see over time, you know, how the battery lasts compared to these older ones. And maybe someday I'll figure out how to rebuild these and make a video on that. Another good thing is at the show I actually did solve my snowblower problem, so I'll have some videos in the future about that also. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.